Yes.
There are matters that you have certified as urgent and that you have identified as being urgent. And I say this with a very heavy heart. My learned colleagues for the petitioners have been engaging in this dilatory tactic since yesterday. There are 2 applications before you that are certified as urgent. There are several other matters that have applications that perhaps have not been certified as urgent. Perhaps your lordships may be kind enough to deal with those urgent applications, and these matters can be dealt with later on. The files may be here, but they're not before the court.
Yeah, your lordship.
Okay, you have talked enough.
Council on this side they have.
Yes.
Council on that side appears to be taking the whole of it.
Because they stand
Please,
much.
please.
Just speak, Mr. Mute. If you want to be heard, just speak. We'll
My
listen.
Lord, I'm asking
Yes.
for equity of powers.
We-
About time to council on this side.
They stand and speak. You also just stand and speak. We have no
Stand and speak, my lord.
Yes, speak.
My Lord, I think for purposes of clarity, yesterday, when we started hearing on the issue of validity of the bench, which has now been disposed by the ruling you've read, the question that they wanted was the application for the validity plus the issue to do with the recusal be heard together. The understanding of the court and ourselves was that they cannot be dealt with together. So that the second preliminary issues after the issue of the validity of the bench has been disposed of are the 3 pending, I think, I should know about 3 applications for recusal. Those are preliminary issues and they relate to the same consolidated matters that this court has given a ruling on. That is issue number 1. Issue number 2, my lord, that is important to be noted. Yes, the consolidated file that is before you has that applications for recusal. That's what my learned colleague is emphasizing. So the second business of the court was supposed to be that one. But more importantly, my lord, so that we do not want to hear these accusations about, oh, somebody is trying to delay this matter. We are the victim, and I reiterate that. For purposes of the petitions before you, we would like this petition heard as of yesterday. And we kept on saying yesterday, the petitions to be heard. My lord, these rules, because it's the enforcement of the constitutions, the Mutunga rules applies. Since the Mutunga rules applies, the applications of the Mutunga rules was everybody was supposed to respond even to the petition to get the matters rolling. There have been no compliance with Mutunga rules for purposes of the respondent. So that if anybody was to be accused of any delay, it would be somebody who has not complied with the Mutunga rules. That is issue number 1. Issue number 2, my lord, was this, that even for purposes of consolidation, the consolidated matters, some of the advocates led by my colleague, Ms. Kimotho,
Yes.
they were not even served with the applications that the respondents are itching to have them disposed of. So that, my lord, because of that mess that was created as of yesterday, and the fact that we do have now a notice talking about these matters, the truth of the matter is, unless we have a situations where some of the advocates in the 4 matters that were not there yesterday have not even been served with this notice, and I know them. So that unless now we take a fresh date without somebody waiting to say that, oh, this court must discharge orders and we have a swearing in over the weekend, the truth of the matter is we need a clear date where the court ensures everybody who ought to be before you, particularly based on these issues that has been raised courtesy of correspondence with the Chief Justice, is addressed. But somebody to pretend, oh, I want to lift the conservatory order and the other side is delaying, it is unfair. We want the petition heard, and it starts with compliance with the Mutunga rules, which there is no compliance whatsoever by the respondents. So that, my lord, I beg you that let us not appear now to be saying, oh, somebody is playing to the gallery. Nobody is playing to the gallery. We just want to assert everybody's rights. And these rights are very easy to enforce. If the Mutunga rules are going to guide these proceedings, my lord, I beg you to have the enforcement of that.
Your Lordship, I had just wanted to highlight the content of the notice which you received.
I think we'll talk about the notice. Sit down. We want to talk about that notice.
Your Lordship,
I will talk about that notice before you speak.
Manuel, do I have your permission to address the court?
Yeah, and even if the court wants to talk, you don't want the court to talk. Dr. Camino, let me address the issue of the notice.
Oh, sorry, I apologize.
Yes.
I apologize.
I think we have made it very clear in the ruling which I have just delivered that the matters before this court are very important to the people of this republic. And you will appreciate that petitions are still being filed throughout Kenya. When we retired yesterday, we received several empanelment of matters of which we gave this notice. Therefore, don't think you are the only person who are in these petitions. There are also other Kenyans who are coming day in, night out. So the matters which you've set out for mention are the matters in which we have been empaneled as from yesterday. So you wait for court to give directions, then you start talking. You cannot just start talking from the air without facts. Let us mention these files first. Then from there, you'll see the directions emerging, and then you can make your prayers. Let's mention these files first. And the other clarification is that we have two cohorts of petitions which have been consolidated. The first cohort were the petitions which were filed to challenge the processes both in Parliament, yes. And during that time, this bench consolidated 6 petitions, with the lead petition being 522 of 2024. Is that correct? That petition, number 522 of 2024, is the lead file in the petitions which were filed before the finalization of the matters in the Senate. Then, after the proceedings in the Senate, other petitions were filed, and with running parallel petitions before the Senate proceedings and after the Senate proceedings. You will remember that petition number 522 was, we listed it for a mention on 29th of this month. But because of need to know, because I know there could be cross-cutting representation in these petitions, we decided just to call it because we knew that all of you would be here, so that if there's anything you want to say on those petitions, you can say it. So that's the reason why we have petition 522 here for a mention. There's nothing to be mentioned, but we said since parties are likely to be here, and some of the parties were even asking for it yesterday, so we brought it. But the other petitions to be mentioned are specific petitions where we have been empaneled. And we wanted to find out the way forward, whether we can consolidate these petitions or whether they can be done separately. So these are petitions number, let's mention petition number 570 of 2024, AD Waiguru,